day, we have body types. My body is different than Miss B's body. Okay? My body is going to be different than anybody in the room that you put beside me. There is no one that is identical to my body. We all have a shape. We all have to embrace that shape. We need to be as healthy as possible. But we also need to understand that shape. So when I was a younger girl, I danced for 14 years and I was a ballerina. This body was not a ballerina body. And I used to grow up with an image of what I thought a ballerina should look like, and it was a little bit frustrating. Had I have known back then that I had a particular body shape, I probably would have embraced it a little more. But instead, all those years I was fighting it, right? So I'm going to read off these different body shapes, and I want you to kind of think about what you think your body shape is, okay? There's something called an ectomorph. An ectomorph is a naturally skinny, born with a super fast metabolism, can kind of eat whenever, whatever, and never really gain fat. If they miss meals, they lose lean muscle quickly. So for these people, it's difficult for them to put on muscle mass. A thin, linear physique, small muscles, narrow shoulders, hips, and waist, low body fat percentage, and may be considered, in some people's world, lucky. So you can identify, let's say Bruce Willis, Sylvester Stallone, okay, Rocky, the majority of Mr. Universe winners and Miss, Madonna, Demi Moore, Alicia Keys, people that are thick, their body, they have bulky muscles. So the characteristic, they say they're the luckiest of all three body types. The prototype for this body type is a fitness model, bodybuilder, whereas the other two aren't. It's harder for them to build or gain muscle. They also lose fat like an ectomorph, so they actually can gain muscle like an endomorph, and they can lose muscle like an ectomorph. Ectomorph is the one I just described first off. I'm going to get into endomorph in a second. The body balance is the broad shoulders, narrow waist. They have larger muscles, and naturally fast, high metabolism. Due to the lean muscle, if used properly, and they then end up with a lower body fat percentage. However, they need to condition very, very hard. Okay, so a balanced workout has to be between the muscle and the cardio, and the average range of the target is 75 to 90%. Okay, so 90% is pretty high. That means I'm pretty gassed when I'm finished training. Okay? Last one, so there's only three. The last one is an endomorph. Unfortunately, an endomorph is where about 80% of our society falls into. They think. They typically struggle to control their weight, though, if they truly are an endomorph. They have a very slow metabolism. They have to be very careful of their food selections. They have to choose lower fat, lower sodium foods. Great deal of trouble losing weight, and a great deal of trouble keeping it off, maintaining it. So I'm going to describe a thyroid. For example, a thyroid, someone who's got a dominant gland. Dominant means that that gland is suffering in some way. It's getting bogged down. So you're going to crave certain things. People that are sort of dominant in the thyroid gland, they say, crave starches, caffeine, and sweets. So when they reach for things, when their body's feeling that lull, that ball that just drops, they're going to reach for starches, caffeines, and sweets, because that's what their body wants in order to stabilize their body. Adrenal would look for salts, fats, or alcohol. Gonadoids or ovaries, so depending on some people, their ovaries are a little overactive or overstimulated or bogged down, would look for spicy, creamy, or rich foods. And then the pituitary gland people would be a dairy or a sweet. Now those you can be a double of. Or you can experience all of them. Your body is completely imbalanced. So you want to get it all balanced out. Start from week 1 of what I taught you, go right through to week 4. And then embrace the body type that you have. So you can be a very lean endomorph and look amazing, and they learn to dress the way they need to dress in order to complement all those areas, and work out to make that work for them, and then they still feel the best they're going to ever feel.
Hydrolyte problem.
All of it. I want that. A salad dressing is 4 parts olive oil, 1 part balsamic vinegar, 1 part maple syrup, and tzatziki sauce. Now the base of that chicken casserole, that pizza casserole, is quinoa and red lentils. Now, the other thing that's interesting is the cheese sauce there's no dairy in that product. It's made of cashews. So you can make this cashew cheese sauce that's at the bottom of the recipe, and you can put it on what would people call Kraft Dinner, KD. You can do spelt noodles with this cashew cheese sauce on top, and it honestly tastes delicious.
I think I should be the cook in Wasaga.
Yeah, you can do
Just in
that.
case you guys want to try it.
Aaron needs
Oh, everybody get one?
No, I need one.
Okay, good. Just in case you want.
Hi, I'm Aaron Andrea from Mike TV, and I'm joined here today with Program Coordinator Leanne from Revive Fitness. So, Leanne, you seem to be an expert on nutrition. What did the students learn this week?
This week, we actually broke down grains, proteins, and the importance of fruits and vegetables again, and understanding stress, different body types, and understanding how to read labels, and so on and so forth, and got a chance to try some of the foods.
I've seen you came prepared. Why do you bring all of this food into the class?
I truly believe when they try the food, they become in love with the food, they understand that it's not going to taste horrible, it's not going to taste different, it's actually going to be quite tasty and sometimes even tastier than others, and then when they get the recipe, they might try it on their own.
Now, why is nutrition so important to obtaining a healthy lifestyle?
Nutrition is the backbone to everything. So what we are is what we eat. So it's really important for people to understand that 80% of everything that they do in a day is led by their diet, obviously then stress and sleep and so on, but 80% of it is diet.
Well, if nutrition is that important, what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had a smoothie this morning, a green smoothie.
Well, thank you, Leanne, for all the wonderful things you continue to do for this program here at our school.
Thank you.
And make sure to check out next week's episode for all your nutrition tips. I'm Aaron Andrea, and thank you for watching.